Hello everyone, and in today's video we're going to try and help you earn 2 million credits on Gran Turismo with the latest car that has been added in the latest update. So if you're wondering what car it is, we are in the F3500A. It is a fictional car based on a late 90s F1 car, I believe so. And we're racing on racing medium tyres. It's a very tricky car to drive. So if this video does help you out and you get some tips there, feel free to subscribe to my channel and hit that like button because it all does help me out massively. So let's get into this. To enter this, you're going to go into the time trial section. You'll be greeted with two separate time trials. We're looking at obviously the open wheel F1 type car. We've already got a guide for Brands Hatch, so you can check that out on the channel in the 2 million credit playlist. Now, I predict the gold is going to get around a 1 minute 25.2 by the end of the 2 weeks. Do remember, you have to wait for the end of the 2 weeks, and hopefully we can help you get there. Now, we're racing on racing medium tyres. No setups allowed, no brake bias allowed. You can change some settings that you might want to try. Traction control with this car is possible that it will help you out. I didn't do my lap with traction control, but I think maybe it will help out some people that are struggling a little bit more with this latest time trial. So feel free to give that a go. It might be the difference between getting the gold or not getting the gold. So try and get a good solid exit off that final corner, making sure that you rev this car out on the straights, because obviously it needs to be revved out with the way this engine is normally aspirated. So looking for our first braking zone, we're going to be braking just past the 150 board. You're going to see we're actually going to go past that, so keep your eye on the board there. We're past it and then we're onto the braking. And now we're going to keep the car in a straight line as much as possible during this phase and downshift quite aggressively. You can really slam through the gears, and we're going to go all the way down to first gear. Now, when we get to first gear, we want to be rotating it in and over the curb very aggressively. You can take a lot of corner off there, and then up to third gear really early to try and rotate it into this next corner. Now, you're going to just let it coast briefly and then start feeding the throttle in ever so slightly, remembering to change the fourth gear nice and early from third gear, about 104 miles per hour, just so you don't rev it out too much and spin up the rears. Now we're going to work into the next braking phase, and we're going to be looking for that 100 board on the right hand side. You're going to brake just short of that 100 board, so as we approach it now, you can see there we're looking for that, and we're starting to get on the brakes just before we get to that 100 board. And again, in this next chicane, you can really be aggressive with the track limits. Now we're going to downshift to second gear, and once we're in second gear, we're going to start turning it in, and again, aggressively over the curb, but then straight back up to fourth gear for the acceleration, because fourth gear will keep this car a lot more stable if you attack these curves, and you can really send it over this curb. I was a little bit too to the right-hand side there, and it compromised my exits. Like you can see, I lost a bit of traction there on the exit, probably lost a tenth or two, but still not too bad at this stage. Now into the next braking stage, we are looking for the 50 board on the left-hand side, braking just slightly past that 50 board, and now we're going to go into the first lesmo and use third gear to rotate it in, and then back up to fourth gear for the acceleration. And be cautious, don't go 100% throttle on that fourth gear, because you will just spin the car. You need to be gradual with that fourth gear acceleration. Again, into the second lesmo, using the 50 board again, and again we're going to start rotating this in and try and clip the apex on the right hand side, and again keep about 80% throttle in as you're getting on the power. So watch as we put the power in there, about 70-80% before we get it in a straight line, and then we can go aggressive on that 100% throttle. Now working our way into the final Ascari chicane, and we are going to be braking again around about the 100 board on the right hand side. You can see it approaching there. Now we're going to actually get on the brakes just slightly past that 100 board, so keep your eye on it, just onto the brakes as we just go past it. And now we're going to go down to fourth gear and try and get this rotated in. Now be careful with fourth gear through this corner, because the curbs are lethal. You have to be very, very careful as you approach this. So a little bit of curb there, a little bit of throttle gone in, and then fifth gear to just dole that power a bit. And this corner, be exceptionally careful on the curb. You can see Killian's Ghost, who we're chasing, nearly lost control of the car with that curb. It's really, really dodgy. And then you're going to power your way all the way up to the final corner now, which again, we're going to brake just before the 50 board on the left hand side there. You can see onto the brakes, and we're going to go down to third gear for the rotation. So keep your eye on the gears, down to third gear, and what we're going to do is we're going to try and rotate it into this corner. So we're in fourth now, then down to third, get a bit of rotation with that, and then back up to fourth gear for the acceleration. And again, be cautious. I could have been a bit more aggressive with the accelerator. Again, probably lost a little bit of time on that exit. I think there was half a tenth to a tenth to be gained, and then get the car over to the right hand side for the shortest distance to the finishing line. Now let's have a little watch of that lap again with kilometers an hour from the chase camera, and let's talk our way through this lap again. So yeah, you can see from this angle, you can really see how wide this car is, and it really gives you the opportunity to take a lot off the corners. You can see there, massive amount on the first part of the chicane, and I actually did that quite well because it managed to open the corner up to get on the throttle a little bit earlier for this acceleration phase. And then again, same story for the second chicane. Using that second gear, really downshift it second, get that rotation, then back up to fourth gear for that acceleration over the curb. So fourth gear settles it down. You can see I had a little moment there, just lost that traction, bogged down a little bit, probably cost us at least a tenth there. And then again through this corner, using that third gear to fourth gear for the rotation, staying in fourth gear for the second part of Lesmo, just try and take a tiny tap on that curb. Don't be too aggressive, otherwise it will unsettle it. And then again into the Ascari chicane, using that 100 board. And you can see how cautious I'm being here as we accelerate through. So fourth gear, cautious on this throttle there, fifth gear, and just be careful with the inputs there. If any too drastic on the inputs, the car will just spin out. You have to be very, very careful. And then into that final corner, we're looking for that 50 board, and we're going to, again, you can see using that third gear for rotation, and then up to fourth gear, feed that throttle in, don't just go 100% throttle straight away, and then all the way to the finishing line for a pretty solid 1 minute 23.7. So hopefully that will help you out. Hopefully it'll help get you the gold. If you have enjoyed this guide, if it's helped you out at all, feel free to subscribe to the channel, give it a like, all helps me out, and I'll see you for more videos in the future. Thanks again for watching, everyone.